All right, well said, Shane. Well, let's get to it. Our SEC over-unders for the West, courtesy of the Wynn Sportsbook in Las Vegas. Again, this is legal across many, many states in this country. You can go on right now and bet on these over-unders. This is, to my knowledge, the only place in the country, even these offshore gambling sites where you got to pay in Bitcoin and they send you a MoneyGram, and 6 years later, I don't even think they've got SEC over under win total. So let's give it up to the Wynn for putting these out early. And, no surprise here. Alabama leads the way, 11.5. This was the same number that I anticipated the Crimson Tide would have this season. And basically what you're betting on, Shane, is Alabama going to go undefeated or not? Because if they go undefeated, they're over. And I should note, in case you don't know, these numbers only count the regular season. They don't count a bowl game. They don't count the SEC championship game. So let's go over the schedule real quick, Shane. You let me know how you're feeling about this Alabama 11.5 over-under win total set by the Wynn Sportsbook. But right out the gate, we got Utah State.
Yep.
Easy W. Toughest non-conference game, week 2 at Texas.
Debatable. Louisiana Monroe's on there, so just kidding. Yeah, just kidding. No, that's good. I can't wait for that game. Sorry.
Week 3, Louisiana Monroe, like you said. Again, they'll beat them by whatever score they want. First SEC game, Vanderbilt at home. You got to, all due respect, Vanderbilt, good luck. Now, here's where it gets tricky, Shane. If Alabama's going to lose, it's going to be right here within this stretch. At Arkansas, Texas A&M at home, and at Tennessee. That's your toughest stretch, I got to think. If you're a Crimson Tide fan, if you win all those, you got to feel comfortable. You're probably going to win the rest. You got Mississippi State at home.
Yeah.
Then you got 2 weeks to prepare for LSU in Baton Rouge, though. But, again, year 1, of course, of the Brian Kelly era. And then at Ole Miss, we shouldn't overlook that game. I probably shouldn't have overlooked that one that's going to be a hell of a game. But then Austin Peay at home and Auburn at home. So,
right.
I don't know. That's kind of why I had Alabama at that 11.5 number, because the most difficult game here is Texas A&M. You got to assume that's at home. There's certainly games they could lose, but
do you like the over or under on this? Literally, you're banking on, and let me, before you answer, let me give you my thoughts. It is extremely tough to go undefeated in a regular season. Even a Nick Saban team in Alabama. You think about years past, there's been a lot of times we're down there at Hoover and we're talking about, man, this is a great Alabama team. Ain't nobody going to stop them. And then an LSU sneaks up, or a Texas A&M last year sneaks up. It seems like, yes, Alabama has consistently had great football teams, but sometimes there's one of those games that sneaks up and bites them in the back. So you're banking on, your quarterback staying healthy. You're banking on you're not losing too much depth on defense. There's a lot of things that can go the wrong way. So, I don't know what your answer is, but I'm going to go with the under, because more often than not, a team will not go undefeated in the SEC. Not that I'd be surprised if they do, but I like my odds, like you said, in that little stretch of Arkansas, Texas A&M, Tennessee, and even Mississippi State. One of those teams sneaking up and surprising the Crimson Tide. So give me the under on this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think you hit on the critical thing there. We don't like to discuss players getting hurt and all that because we don't want that to happen. But, what does Alabama have beyond Bryce Young? They've got nothing.
Right.
They've got – I shouldn't say that. That's incorrect. But they have nothing of experience. They got Jalen Milroe, who's never had any experience. They got Ty Simpson, 5-star quarterback. He may be the next big thing, but until we see him do it on the field, that's an issue. They're replacing, their entire receiving core. The offensive line is a question mark. Now, we're sitting here picking them apart. this may be the most talented team in the country. So, yeah, they're going to be just fine. I'm not shedding any tears for Alabama here, but yeah, I think you're right because you just never know. I mean, an injury, it even in recent years they've shored up the kicking game, but that's been an issue. There might be a game where you miss 2-3 field goals, or you have a punt blocked, or God knows what. So yeah, going perfect is difficult in the SEC, but I do want to play this quick clip, Shane, from Nick Saban. I think this will get fans fired up that are thinking Alabama, this is going to be the team that redeems themselves. Hell, they're SEC champions. Let's not forget that. But redeem themselves in the college football playoff and go all the way.
Coach, I've heard you talk in the past about the importance and scrimmage work of having coaches back off the players so there's not a coach right in their ear. Is that something you did today, or is that more for next Saturday?
No, we did it today. Everybody was on the sidelines. Sometimes you got to let the players play. Can't tell them what to do. Can't make the calls for them. I'm the only one that was allowed on the field today, and most of the time, the coaching points I gave were not technique oriented.
You've talked about great teams of the past, great players of the past. You almost universally cite their competitive character. What has this team showed you so far about their competitive character?
This team's been really good. This team doesn't have any complainers. Guys just do what they're coached to do. They work hard. We don't have a lot of negative guys on this team, and we have some real positive leadership, which I think is always important, and hopefully we can, build on that, and that'll be something that's an asset for this team. It's easy to start that way. It's more difficult to sustain, and hopefully this team will be able to sustain it, and that'll help us in terms of our development when the fall rolls around.
All right, Shane. So, woo.
All right, I change it. Go the over.
And one other thing about this Alabama, Shay, like I said, I listened to the Win Bets guy, Matt Lindeman is his name. He's the one setting these odds, and he said there's only 2 games right now that he has on Alabama's schedule where the win would set the the point spread under 2 touchdowns. Do you know what games do you think those are?
A&M.
Mm-hmm.
And Tennessee.
Bingo. So
Ooh.
they've got the spread right now against A&M, which is in Bryant-Denny, 13 points favorite for Alabama.
Uh-huh.
And at Tennessee, which is on the road at Tennessee, Alabama favored by 9. So, hey, based on these odds, brother, Tennessee's got the best shot to knock off the Crimson Tide. But so that's basically how they come up with their number of 11.5 is basically they see 2 games right now. Of course, things could change.
Yeah.
But the way they look at it right now, there's 2 games that are kind of swing games, and still Alabama favored by over a touchdown in each of them.
Yeah, but I'm excited that it's just a 2-score favorite. It's like we're getting closer. There's no more 30s or 40s. You know what I'm saying? It's like
right.
Hey, a couple scores and we're in this thing. And that's one of those things. Tennessee, I think that's what they're thinking about. Even if they are down in this game, it's one of those teams that can score points in a hurry, and especially worst case scenario, garbage time. So I'm not saying that's what this game's going to come down to. It's a long ways from here, but I think that is obviously a factor too.
Mm-hmm. All right, Shane, next team on the docket here, the team.
Real quick on that,
yeah.
Mike. I just want to so I said under, you said under as well, correct?
Yeah, I just think you have to go under because, again, odds are Alabama will – odds are they're going to win it every year as long as Nick Saban's there.
Right.
But going undefeated is the question here. Not, do I have faith in Alabama to go undefeated and win it all? Yes, but am I putting my money on it? No.
Well, I know you hate Alabama, but let me ask you on that. Put that on your YouTube short, Mike. Now, I do want to ask a quick question and the way I'd like to on a gamble, since we're talking gambling here. Okay, all right. and follow me here for a second. So, okay, so obviously, you know, I got my $100 lock of the week bet. So you walk into a casino, and somebody asks you Alabama over under, and you picked under. Out of that $100, how confident are you in that bet? Because I want to say right now, I'm going to place about $15. If like the max is 100, I'm sold. This thing's going to happen. You know, $1 being like, okay, I'll take a shot at it. I'm hovering around the $15 to $17 range right now on this bet. What would you put down on your under? Just a level of confidence.
Probably $33.
Okay. All right. I like that. A little more confident than I am. Still not totally committed, but I like it. We're probably not
Well,
even
like you said, I guess that's because I'm a big Alabama hater.
Yeah. Could you imagine putting a whole bunch of money on this game and then you're getting down to, like, it's not happening, and then you're going into Ole Miss and Austin P and Auburn. Those are the last three. You're sweating bullets. Your mortgage is on the line. You know, it's like, don't do that, guys. We're not that confident. So, or girls.
All right, next on the docket.